Hello and welcome to Angelic Prime's Bug Report. Here we will be providing you with daily updates and content on gaming news. This is the first in a series of episodes that I will be hosting and producing myself, and today is an E3 special. It's also episode 1, so it's technically double special. Please enjoy. We will be going over all the big conferences, including Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo's Nintendo Direct, and we will be glancing over the publishers' conferences, EA and Ubisoft. If I remember rightly, Konami did one about a week or so before the conference. I have not seen it, therefore I cannot comment on it. I just know there's a picture of Kiefer Sutherland mocapping for Snake. Thanks. See you in 24. Right, beginning with Microsoft. Microsoft opened up with an awesome trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. It showed off the gameplay, the features. It looked like a sort of rip-off of Red Dead Redemption, only set about 30 years in the past, instead of about 100 years in the past. Also, it showed him riding a pony, because it was done in Oblivion, and it seems adequate for the timeline. It's also set in Afghanistan, you know, that happy place that our soldiers currently aren't living in. Anyways, it showed off some new characters, Quiet, Eli. It also showed Emmerich, who I'm hoping to, beyond hope, is Hal Ottercon's dad. Therefore creating another link between Metal Gear Solid, Solid Snake and Metal Gear Solid Big Boss. Also, the game is not an exclusive, which is a great way to open your conference with a game that you aren't only getting. But hey, this is Microsoft. They're kind of going through that little software drought of exclusives. Also, they announced a new redesigned Xbox 360. Yeah, because it makes sense. Also, it's also a great way to get around the whole notion of you can't play your Xbox 360 games in any way, shape or form on Xbox One. On the bright side, they're also going to be giving you 2 free games with Assassin's Creed 2 and Halo 3. Right, because everyone's playing Halo 4 now, so we'll give them Halo 3. Thanks. Also, they then moved off to exclusives, showing off Rise. Do you remember that old Kinect game where it showed a guy headbutting the screen repeatedly, trying to look threatening, but looked more like a douchebag? Well, it's back. Except for now it's not Spartans, which I believe is what it was before. It is now Roman Legionnaires. It is also no longer a Kinect exclusive, because I guess Microsoft started to realise that that little camera is a complete flop and should be thrown out. So they made a new one and handed it out with a new console. For free, we swear. Now you are a Roman Legionnaire, and the game is now fully named Rise, Son of QuickTime Event Rome. Basically, it's a fighting game full of QuickTime events. Do you remember Heavy Rain, that really interesting story? Yeah, take out the story, you now got Rise. It's made by Crytek, on the bright at least it looks pretty. And also terrible. They then showed off Forza 5. It's a racing game. You can't really change much, unless you're going to go into the cars, then you ruin the realism aspect. But on the bright side, it looks like Death Race. That will be releasing at launch on Xbox One. It will also feature the Drivatar, I believe is what they called him. Basically, when you're not playing the game plays for you. Because that's what you want to do when you're not playing a game, just have it play for you. It's also a great way to get around the hole if you lose your internet connection for more than 24 hours. That way, you don't have to worry about it, because your game's playing for you and doesn't need you anymore. They also announced a reboot of Killer Instinct, that old fighting game back on the SNES and Mega Drive. I believe it was on the Mega Drive. Now, it isn't being made by Rare. I think Rare are providing some advisory capacity to the game. It's being made by Double Helix Games. Have you heard of Double Helix Games? Probably not. They are the people who made G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, Battleship, and a Green Lantern game based off the movie. Gaming pedigree there, guys. They were all terrible. Then they also announced Dead Rising 3 as an Xbox Live exclusive. It also has been completely revamped. It's now set in what looks to be a small town. They look to have gone down a more serious route, because serious zombies hasn't been done before. Thank you, Walking Dead. And also now, with Xbox Live Smart Glass, you can now, if you have a phone or a tablet, send an artillery strike down onto the map. Yes, they've made it even easier. Thanks, guys. Awesome. I love games that play themselves. That's why I only have one That's why I have 2 Quantic Dream games and not an entire 50 set. But anyways, Minecraft has made an appearance, guys! Yes, it's coming out for Xbox One. Bigger maps. More blocks. More blocks. Also, this game's been out in 2008. It's been on PC for God knows how long. PC's also had mods, and also has more. And also, why would you re-release it again on your same console? When I'm assuming, seeing as you're not going to take down Xbox Live on Xbox 360, people can still play it. Don't worry, I think I see where you're going here. Rehash your old games for yourself. Well done, Microsoft. Also, they announced Sunset Overdrive. Made by Insomniac Games, they also did Resistance for PlayStation. And Resistance was basically was an alien game. It was actually quite good. The first one was pretty bad, but the second one was great. I never played the third one. I played in the demo, I believe, was it the beta? I was on PS Plus at the time, after the hacking scandal. And it looks to be another survival game. So we have State of Decay, Dead Rising 3, and Sunset Overdrive. Great. Very colourful in comparison to State of Decay and Dead Rising. So I guess that's the one thing going for it if you want a colourful game. If so, more power to you. And, well, they didn't really reveal that much else. But on the bright side, more games, more exclusives that are probably going to die horribly. And soon, and after that, they revealed Battlefield 4 on Xbox One, because we all know it was coming. Then they showed a tech demo that crashed. The guy stood there for nigh on what felt like 5 minutes, looking gormless, almost walks off stage, and then told that actually it is going to work. Then what they basically showed was what we all know about Battlefield. It's shooting, you shoot other people, have fun, also levels get destroyed. It's Battlefield, there's not much else you can do with it. Oh, and they also announced that the DLC will come on Xbox One first. So if you can't handle the wait of 1 month before your map packs come out onto the better platforms, then you're going to want an Xbox One. And a stable internet connection. Good luck. Also, they announced Twitch.tv integration. Basically, they saw that Sony was doing Ustream and thought, yes, we've got to do that as well. We're baking it into the console for you. It's Twitch. If you're watching this live, you're also watching it on Twitch. Well done, you've discovered Twitch. And also because it's advertised quite widely on the forums. But anyways, they then announced that the console price will be $499 at launch. Also, they announced a Day 1 edition of the console, which is fantastic because it features Day 1 2013 on the controller. Not Flash or anything, just literally Day 1 2013 on the controller. Thank you, Microsoft. I like bragging in tiny letters. Thanks. In a nutshell, it would be £429 in the UK. It is of the main consoles that have been released in the last 10 years, it is the most expensive console ever released. Bar the Apple Pippin, which was £800 and no one cared. And the Philips CDI trigger was also around £800 and bombed horribly. It also looked like a Beatmax player, like Xbox One. I say connection. Basically, it's just a generic conference. I almost fell asleep watching it. Oh, they also announced Halo. Not Halo 5, just Halo. I don't know if they're going to be adding a subtitle to that, but as far as I know, it's just Halo. And well, it's just a CGI trailer. The problem with this is that most of the exclusives they revealed were CGI trailers. They didn't really reveal that much gameplay. It was mainly just music, bragging, for some weird reason, and not much else. It put me to sleep. On the bright side, I got plenty of sleep for the Sony conference, which was much better. We'll be getting on to that in a minute. Also, they did not mention their online policies or the used games debacle. Basically, they pretended that it didn't exist. They don't care what gamers think. If you're buying the console, you have to stay connected. So if you have a terrible dial-up connection or your internet connection is extremely intermittent, I say don't buy the console. Buy a Sony, and I'll show you why in a moment. Well, I say show, I'll speak to you. I have no video feed in this, just my voice. My British drony voice. Now then, next, Sony. Sony, I'm not going to mention the PS3 or anything. We already know there's a bunch of PS3 games coming out. On Xbox they announced 3, and only 2 of them were exclusives, and not very good exclusives at that. And the other one was Dark Souls 2, which is coming out on all platforms anyway. Sony basically started out with a bunch of different games. They showed off Rain, Beyond Two Souls, anything like that. Basically loads and loads and loads of exclusives or multi-plats that are coming up before the end of the year. Then when it came down to business, they unveiled the PlayStation 4 and announced that Knack, Killzone Shadowfall and hashtag Drive Club will be out on launch. They said that there will be 30 games on launch, 20 of which are PlayStation 4 not on launch, sorry, I read that wrong. There are 30 games in development, 20 are PlayStation 4 games that will be out in the first year and are exclusives, 12 of which reported, I may have got this wrong, are new IPs, intellectual properties, which is fantastic and more than Xbox's 8. Compared to 15 exclusives, I think 8 of them are new IPs, and one of them is something called Quantum Break, and basically they revealed nothing of it. 100 games, including multiplats, will be out by the first year. 140 games are in development right now as we are speaking. And also, they showed a trailer for Final Fantasy Versus 13. Yes, it lives, but now it is known as Final Fantasy 15. I say go ahead. It's about time they announced the new Final Fantasy. There's been loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of these 13s now. Well, I say loads, there's 2. And a third one coming out. And after they launched Final Fantasy 15, they then announced that Kingdom Hearts 3, yes, you heard it right, 3 is in development. They didn't announce a release date. It'll probably be around the next 2 years or so, knowing Square. They like to take their time with these games, especially Kingdom Hearts, because, well, people have been waiting a while. Please do it well, please. Then Transistor, the new IP from Supergiant Games, the creator of Bastion, one of the greatest indie games to have ever come out in the past 10 years, will be on PlayStation 4 first. It looks fantastic. People have already done videos of this from PAX. Please watch it, it's fantastic. They have also announced a bunch of indie dev support because they care about indie games, from Octodad, Oddworld. They are remaking Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. It's Oddworld, I think it's New and Tasty, I believe it's called. I believe there's a quote in one of the posters from the original opening movie for Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. If you've not played Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, now is a great chance to play it if you're getting a PlayStation 4. It is a fantastic game and I implore you to play it. Same with Stranger's Wrath. It's on PlayStation Network store because they refused to put it out on Xbox because the game was more than 2 gigs. So Microsoft said no. Love the restrictions there. Growing games need more memory, guys. What's up? And if you have a PlayStation 3, play Stranger's Wrath. It is a fantastic game, really innovative. Boss fights were a bit hard, but I loved it. They also announced that Mad Max, which will be multi-platform, what I could tell, is coming out on PlayStation. They also showed off a demo of Assassin's Creed 4. Great demo, till it crashed. In the most hilarious way possible. The person just walked off stage, showed off a massive montage of Assassin's Creed 4. But after that was fine. They also showed a demo of Watch Dogs and a first time gameplay demo of Destiny. If you have not seen this, I implore you, go on YouTube, look at the Destiny gameplay demo. You are in for a treat. It looks fantastic. Great features. It is literally becoming an MMO, and no monthly fees, 10-year support with loads and loads of games. It looks fantastic. They also announced a new IP in the form of The Order 1886, set in 1886. Who'd have thunk it? It looks to be like a sort of steampunky game, which is great, and looks to feature werewolves, but don't quote me, I could be wrong. And then, also at the start, they showed off the Sony PlayStation 4. If you thought the Xbox One looked ugly, you're in for a treat. The Sony PlayStation 4 is a beautiful thing. It's slanted, it's actually smaller than the PlayStation 3 Fat, as people call it, the first one, the really shiny glossy one that I think looks the best. It's smaller than that. It has a 500GB hard drive inbuilt, same as the Xbox One, but Xbox One hasn't said anything about changing it. Sony have announced that you can change the hard drive, which is a great feature they also had in the PlayStation 3. Sadly I never used it because I didn't have enough money. But it's always nice to know that you can change it, put in the operating system again, willy-nilly, install more games. Also, The reason why the PlayStation 4 is better in my opinion, there is no used games DRM. You can buy your games, trade them between friends, sell them back in store, or game, CEX or whatever. This console will not punish you. You will not be charged extra money. It's similar to what we have now with Xbox 360, Wii U, PlayStation 3, and it's the way it should always be on consoles. No internet connection required, so you can play your single player games offline all you like, for as long as you like. You will not be refused to play your game if you don't log on in 24 hours, or 1 hour if you're at a friend's console. You can do it all you like. The only time we have to play, the only time we have to connect the internet to play online games, which is the way it has been already. PlayStation Plus, it's $5 a month, gives you free games and bonus features, but online play now requires PlayStation Plus. My only guess is so they can fund the service for the games, which I guess is fine. That's completely fine in my opinion. Anyways, if you get free games, who cares? $5 is a steal. And the price for the Xbox, the price for the PlayStation 4 is $399, $100 less than the Xbox One, and £350. You get more exclusives, you get better features, you're not tied down to your DRM, you're not tied down to your games, and you're paying less. I don't think I need to tell you guys what you need to do. I say PlayStation 4 is going to win this console war. They've just buried Microsoft with their conference, and on the bright side, because the Xbox Live conference, I got some sleep and got to watch it. So why not? And now on to Nintendo's recently broadcast Nintendo Direct. Basically, they went pure games, which is great. No stupid fanfare which the other conferences had. It's a bit annoying to see the fanfare. It can be epic at times, but for the most part, if you're going there for games or to see hardware, you just want to see the hardware. No guff, no going on about, oh, we have 10 million subscribers. It's a lot more than that, but anyways. You know, Nintendo opened up with Shigeru Iwata just on about games. They basically gave us release forecasts, also announced some game, also announced one game I believe, it was just Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. And, oh please be made by Retro Studio, I have to say that now. They also said that Bayonetta 2 will be released next year, we already knew that. They also announced Mario Kart 8. That will be... well, it's Mario Kart really, there's not much you can change, but basically you can also like drive upside down now because your car can turn into a hovercraft. I don't know how it's hovering off the ground while being upside down, but it's Mario, you know. It looks a lot of fun. It was mainly a CGI trailer, but you can also drive underwater, you get a hang glide, which I think was, those two features were included in 7 on the 3DS, I could be wrong, I never played it. They also announced Mario 3D World. Basically, it's like a multiplayer version of the Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, but obviously with different levels. It looks fantastic, it looks like a lot of fun. Basically, they've gone with the new Super Mario Brothers formula and gone full 3D, it's no longer 2D, because, you know, they've finished dragging that franchise into the ground. Excuse me, one Super Luigi U is out anyway. New Super Luigi U, I think it's called, yeah. And they also said that that'll also be out next year, by the way. They also said that The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD will be released this October. This is great. This is a great way to tie this all forward till the new Zelda game, which we all know is in development, comes out. Or rather, when they're happy to show us some features. They also said that Wii Party and Wii Fit U will be delayed till October and December, respectively. Okay? I don't know how many of you actually cared about these games. I personally did not. But hey, at least Nintendo keeping us updated, which I think is great. Also, they announced a August 14th, I believe, release date for the Wonderful 101 by Platinum Games. So Platinum Games have 2 exclusives coming out on Wii U, Bayonetta 2 and the Wonderful 101. Wonderful 101 looks like a really clever little game. And basically, you can literally control 101 superheroes. You can turn them all, you make them all assemble into weapons using what they call Unity powers. It looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait. I'll be buying it on day one because I have a Wii U, and that's wonderful. They also showed off for the first time trailers for Super Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U. Super Smash Bros. 3DS looks to go down a more cartoony route, mainly due to the console's limitations and also the fact that you can turn it onto 3D. And it looks great. It also makes both games look more unique. So they all seem separate, while we both know they're probably going to have some form of connectivity on launch. Also, they've announced there's 2 new fighters, the Villager from Animal Crossing, which looks hilarious, and Mega Man from Capcom's games of Mega Man, Capcom series of Mega Man games. Funny that. These 2 look like interesting fighters. It's good to know that more Nintendo franchises are becoming involved, even if it does seem a little weird. But this is Smash Brothers, it was born to be a little bit weird. They also showed off the regulars, like, Kid Icarus, Link and Zelda, Samus, Mario, Luigi, all the standards are back. I'm hoping Sonic will also be back, and maybe Solid Snake. I'd love to see more of him in the games. He was great in the Wii U, the Brawl. And also, at the start of the conference, well, I say conference, the opening monologue, whatever, of the Nintendo Direct, they announced Pokemon X and Y, the upcoming Pokemon 3D games, which also have a new 3DS-esque feature where you can pet your Pokemon, feed them food and watch them eat it. And they also announced that Sylveon is a fairy type. Also, Pokemon like Gladiator, or however you pronounce their name, will also be a fairy type. Marill will also be a fairy type. Also, the Pokemon with the weird mouth on its head thing, I can't remember his name, I'm so sorry, will also be a fairy type. Fairy types are immune to dragon type attacks, meaning that it's the much needed, in my opinion, the much needed counter to dragon types, which is fantastic. I am so glad that they're adding that. Also makes the games include new strategies, also means that, the online team will change. It's just wonderful. I'm so happy. Also, they have actually said that the games will launch October 12th this year on 3DS. They will also be on the, especially the Wii U store, the 3DS e-store. That is great. I want my Pokemon. Just shut up and take my money, Nintendo and Sony. Also, now on to EA. Now, like I said, I'll just be going over their main game announcements. I won't be going over the main conferences because it's a publisher. They're just going to show off games. They have no hardware to show off. And I'm going to start off with EA, who announced right in the opening bat. They were hinting they were going to announce, something to do with Battlefield 4. When actually they announced Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare. It is a third-person shooter game that made by PopCap. Will be launching first on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. I don't want to call them exclusive yet because PopCap tend to drop the whole exclusive thing and end up releasing everything on all platforms. Plants vs Zombies being the main example. Showed up on PC, then went to the iPad, so on and so forth. They never tend to be an exclusive. They also announced Star Wars Battlefront. Yes, it's finally coming. We have been waiting so many years for this game to come out. Now that EA has the license to create and publish Star Wars games, they have announced that Star Wars Battlefront, developed by DICE, so it's been developed by a pedigree studio with online shooters in mind, will launch at some point. They didn't say much, they just showed like a simple CGI trailer and announced the game will be running on Frostbite 3. Same with Dragon Age Inquisition, will also be running on Frostbite 3. Basically, most of their games will either be running on Frostbite 3 or EA Sports Ignite. I'm not going to mention EA Sports games. They're coming out. They come out every year. What's the point of me even mentioning them? I'll just be drivelling onwards. Oh, though they didn't formally show off UFC. About time, guys. Thanks. They also announced Need for Speed Rivals. It's essentially another Need for Speed Hot Pursuit game. Main difference being that it seems to have blurred the line between single player and multiplayer. If you are playing connected to the internet and you are racing at the police shop, there is a chance that the guy chasing you will be another player. This is a great idea. It sort of makes the games less predictable, and with tablet integration, there seems to be a big buzzword: tablet integration and seamless multiplayer. Tablet integration being that someone on an iPad or an Android tablet will be able to tap and summon helicopters and things like that. I'm going to guess they probably can also put up roadblocks for you and stuff like that. It's a great idea. I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go with it. And at the end of the conference, they announced, finally, after so many years, I believe it came out in 2008, they finally announced Mirror's Edge 2. This game was an experiment by DICE, like a free-running first-person game. It was a great idea. It worked really, really, really well. Bit short, but with a game where the main feature is running, there's not much else you can do. And it was a great game, and I want more. So, thank you, EA. And now on to Ubisoft, who announced one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Xbox One has announced this whole TV integrating thing where you can watch live TV and control your Xbox at the same time, because I love my glorified cable boxes. But anyways, where they've announced this new feature where you can watch Rabbids on Nickelodeon, which is coming out soon apparently. And basically children and parents can play games while watching the show, because that's what you love about watching TV shows, when people scream over them. Thanks guys. But anyways, on to actual games, not Dragon Slayer. Ubisoft announced two new games at E3. The first one being The Crew. Once again, this sort of seamless integration with multiplayer game. It's essentially a driving MMO. And basically you can like take over a criminal underworld or whatever. Your cars will feature, if you've ever played Ghost Recon, pretty much the exact same customizing system, and it's going to work with cars. You can literally turn a Ford Mustang from a straight-on drag racer into a off-road monster. It's a great idea. The tablet integration is basically you can modify your cars while you're out doing work. Get your bottle of that, or out doing work, say on a train, on the bus, things like that. It's a great idea. It seems like it wouldn't be the sort of thing we have to dedicate all your life to, and I like that. And finally, my game of E3. I'm trying to Ubisoft right at the end, similar to Watch Dogs last year, The Division, a MMO third-person role-playing game, where basically, once again, tablet integration features. They made it out to be seamless multiplayer. Basically, the game is that a mutated influenza virus basically wipes out the world, and wipes out America rather, and drives America to its knees. It's a great idea. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun, and frankly, I'm looking forward to it. Now, if you had to ask me who were my favourite conferences of E3, I'm going to say PlayStation and Nintendo equally. I like PlayStation because they announced the they showed off the PS4 body. It looks beautiful. They showed off great exclusives. They trounced Microsoft in every sense of the word. More exclusives, better price, better features with the online now. Sure, the fact you have to pay monthly now for the PlayStation Online, it's annoying, but I'm fine with it. It's a good price. You get free games, better games. In fact, you get the Instant Games collection on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita when you buy it on PS4, because it transfers over. It's on all platforms. It's annoying, but hey, you get loads of features with it. I don't mind it. Personally, I know some people are going to be annoyed with it, but if it's going to be used to keep servers up for longer, then I see no problem with it myself. But Nintendo, purely because they showed off more Pokemon stuff, they showed off more game footage. It was just games, less waffling, pure games. I have nothing to complain about with Nintendo. They did what I wanted. They showed off games. And games, come on. Why else are you watching E3? Are you watching it for TV shows? Go off and watch the Xbox conference. Or the Xbox reveal even. Go ahead. But this is all I really have to say. Basically, if you want a multi-plat console, mainly for multi-plat games, and some exclusive, I'd say go with PlayStation. You don't have to dance around Microsoft's DRM. They have no DRM. The PlayStation 4 is not region locked. Xbox One is. And if you want party games, you're going to go with Nintendo anyway. It's Nintendo, they're great with party games. Mario Kart, Mario, so much Mario. Smash Brothers, so on and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, this is the main feature of E3, is the conferences. If they do announce more interesting stuff during the course of the convention, which I believe ends either Wednesday or Thursday, then I will make another one of these shows. But for now, this is me done for the week. I will be coming back on Monday. Hopefully going to keep up, maybe a shorter show. I'll just keep doing daily shows, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. But I will keep you all up to date on gaming news. My name is Angelic Prime. This has been the Bug Report. Thank you so much for watching. This will be